I'm gonna tell you a story that you'll enjoy. I hope you'll enjoy. So when I was young, I stayed with my grandmother. My grandmother lived in Montreal. My families were all Canadian. We used to visit because we moved down to the States. And every so often she had an old house. And I remember once I stayed with her and I really enjoyed the bed. Not because the bed was actually really uncomfortable, but she had this beautiful old, authentic, one of those genuine old feather pillows. And I mentioned to her, I was like a kid, I mentioned to her, Bubbie is how you say grandmother in Yiddish. I said, Bubbie, I really love this pillow. And without hesitation, she gave it to me. She says, well, then you should have it. And that was just kind of her way. It didn't matter whether she had something or not. She was just always eager to give. And so I took that pillow as a teen. I must have been like 12 or 13. And everywhere I went, Bubbie's pillow came with me, like everywhere. Mm. And as the years wore by, the pillow became so frayed. It was already probably 100 years old. Like she had gotten it from her grandmother or great-grandmother. And the shell actually fell apart and had a bit of an odor to it. So I took it to a tailor and they took all the feathers out and they put a new casing in it. And everywhere I went, because I kept moving, it was like wandering all over the world, it seemed, that pillow always came with me. Mm-hmm. Years later, Bubbie fell ill. She was actually volunteering at the hospital, the local hospital, right up until the very end, until she couldn't barely walk or hear or see very well. But she was caring for others up until the last few years of her passing. And I remember I went to see her. She'd stopped eating. I went to see her to say goodbye and held her hand there for a while. And that was about 7 years ago now. And what's really beautiful is that, you know, I have my dreams and I can go into my meditations and I can ask different questions. And it turns out that Bubbie is coming back. I don't know exactly when. But my sense is that she's going to return as a woman. She's going to come back to Canada. And that at some point, as long as it doesn't interfere with her journey, her mission, or her free will, that if I desire it, that I'll be made aware of who it is that Bubbie's soul has incarnated back into. And what my plan is that when I think she's old enough, so I'm hoping that she comes back in the next, say, 10 or 15 years, that when she's old enough, perhaps 8 or 10 years old, that I'll go and I'll knock on her door and I'll give her back her pillow.
Aww. Aww.
And I'll give her back her pillow. And as long as I feel that she's ready for the story, I'll explain who I am and how that this pillow was given to me from her. But now that I'd like her to have it back.
Oh, that's a beautiful story.